reports Ukraine deliberately fired the missile into Poland. And this was my assumption when I first heard about this. They're doing Zelensky and the Ukrainians. They're doing everything they can to try to drag other countries into this, to try to drag NATO into this. He is deliberately trying to start World War III. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Now, when you hit that alarm bell, you can change it from personal to all. That way you get all notifications for when I'm putting out stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my Instagram where I put out even more news throughout the day. So check that out as well. All right, let's talk about this news. According to Scott Ritter, the Ukrainians deliberately launched the Ukrainian S-300 missiles into Poland. NATO knows it is a Ukrainian missile and it was deliberately fired into Poland. But Zelensky might not know the truth. There are elements of the Ukrainian military who would do it unilaterally, Ritter believes. I'm not too sure about that part, though. I believe Zelensky knew about this. And we all know they got Dolph members in the Ukrainian military. We see them holding up the hands gestures, and they got all the Dolph signals and all that other stuff. So we know that they got a bunch of Dolph members in the Ukrainian military that would like to push for World War III. The Ukrainians want Patriot missiles and a no-fly zone since they are losing badly, especially under the barrage of missiles from Russia. They're losing their energy systems. Zelensky and his military don't seem to care if they start World War III. Now, if you read any other news other than other news from outside the country here, but if you read the NATO members' news, they all pretending like Ukraine has the upper hand. I don't think that's the case. I think Russia is actually winning the war right now. A no-fly zone means we have to be willing to shoot down Russian planes and enter World War III, Ritter goes on to say. Ritter, a former Marine intel officer, said Russian missiles were coming in from east to west, and radar detects this. And you have a little radar up front that guides the missile from west to east to intercept the missile. This missile went from east to west into Poland. How does it do it on a ballistic trajectory? You direct a ballistic missile by putting a radar point in the sky that guides it. It then follows the ballistic trajectory down. Someone painted the sky over Poland with the radar signature that sent a missile to Poland. That's the only way that missile got to Poland. Wow. Wow. That's eye-opening right there. NATO Chief Jens Stoltenberg has said there is, quote, no indication that a missile that struck Poland was a, quote, deliberate attack, saying it was likely fired by Ukraine while defending itself against a barrage of Russian weapons. A reputable Polish newspaper reported that Ukrainians deliberately sent it into Poland. So even the Poland people believe that it was Ukraine that actually did this. And Ritter isn't the only person saying this. Gazeta Wyborska writes, on Tuesday afternoon, a rocket hit the grain dryer in Przyzwołto. 2 residents of the village were killed. Initially, there were suspicions that the rocket was launched from Russia, but on Wednesday, President Joe Biden announced that its trajectory does not indicate this. President Andrzej Duda knew this from NATO sources on Tuesday evening. In Wednesday's speech, he addressed that, quote, it was not an attack on Poland and most likely a missile of the Ukrainian air defense, which simultaneously repelled the attack of Russian missiles. A Polish farmer and a purchaser, both in their 60s, were killed at a grain facility on a farm. Gazeta Wyborska said Ukraine deliberately shelled the trajectory in Poland. Again, that's what I believe is happening because they're running out of weapons. So they have to do something to try to win this war, which is pull in NATO and bring in NATO troops into this. Meanwhile, the U.S. is running low on arms to give to Ukraine. The Pentagon is reportedly concerned about its stockpiles of artillery shells and air defense and anti-tank missiles. Because then, what do you leave to defend the U.S. if you're giving all of your military equipment to Ukraine? How are we going to defend ourselves here? According to CNN, 3 U.S. officials interviewed by the outlet, some of the challenges U.S. is facing in terms of supporting Ukraine includes its, quote, dwindling stockpiles of arms and the ability of the defense industry to cope with demand. One official told CNN that Washington can send a, quote, finite amount of excess stock to Kiev. The report says that Washington is particularly concerned about their available stockpiles of 151 millimeter artillery shells and a Stinger air defense missiles. Some officials are also worried about the production of arms such as HARMS, anti-radiation missiles, GMLRs, RS, surface-to-surface missiles, and Javelin anti-tank systems. CNN sources maintain, however, that the dent in the stockpile does not compromise national security, given that the weapons for Ukraine do not come from the supplies the Pentagon reserves for its own contingencies. A senior official also told the outlet that the assessment that the U.S. is quote, running low on arms is subjective and it depends on how much risk the Pentagon is prepared to accept. Europe can't backfill a thing. So we don't know really what's going on. We get multiple different reports. But one thing we do know is that the Ukraine government, that Ukraine are the ones that actually shelled Poland. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out demarcopublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.